So there's been this trend recently where young men on self-improvement, they dedicate like a season of their lives. They make their goal being social, like focusing on their social life. So they'll go out more, they'll drink more, and all of these things. And honestly, it's probably different to what you thought I was going to say, but I actually think this is a good thing because a lot of young men on self-improvement, their social skills are lacking. They need to work on their social skills. But the problem is with these social seasons, most people go about them the wrong way, right? Most people, like even one of my clients, right, he almost like fell into this trap, which I'm helping him out with right now. But basically, he really, really wanted to like focus on his social life. But you can't make your social life the only goal because your social life is meant to be something relaxing. It's meant to be something nice. There's this quote called the under peaceful conditions, the warlike man attacks himself. That basically means that if you don't have something that's like an aggressive pursuit, like a war that you can go to, then you're going to feel like stressed and anxious and like shit. So how can you improve your social skills while also like staying locked in on self-improvement, while also like staying purpose focused, right? Because now you know being purpose, well, if you didn't before, now you know. But being purpose focused is basically how you feel masculine, right? The more purpose focused you are, the more masculine you are going to feel, right? I'm not going to explain how that works in this video, but I explain that in like 100 other videos on my channel. But essentially the way you need to become like more socially focused in a like be in a social season without like giving up that like masculine like warlike drive is simply just doing both, right? Work on your goals in the background. This is kind of like what I recommend with like quarter goals. I'm not sure if you remember this because it's been a while since I've talked about this, but essentially imagine instead of having like this is what I tell people to do when they're struggling with like consistency on their goals. I tell them, look, have your big year-long goal, that's the main goal, but then it's split your year up into 4 parts, and each part of that focus on whatever excites you the most, whatever goal excites you the most then, but then continue working on that year-long goal on the background, so then you're still achieving the year-long goal without getting this like ADHD like trying to switch it all the time, right? So that's what I recommend to a lot of people. You can use that same concept with being more socially focused. You can dedicate one of these quarters where the main goal is being more socially focused. You put more an emphasis on like rest and going out with friends and relaxing and having fun and watching the World Cup or whatever you want to do. But essentially, then still work on the big year-long goals in the background. Just treat this, instead of treating the social season like the big new main goal, instead treat it like the main focus while you're still working on the goals in the background. Because if you just go all in on the social life, you might make progress in your social life, but as a masculine man, you are going to feel shit about yourself. You are going to feel shit about yourself. Like, no matter who you are, if you don't have a war and you are a masculine man, you are going to feel shit about yourself. I could end this video here, but the problem is I know you're fucking autistic, right? And you're gonna watch this video and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, you know, like focus mainly, like focus on my goals in the background, like do the social stuff. But your autistic ass doesn't actually know like what the fuck that means, right? You need like in exact detail, right? Because I'm the exact same way, right? If I hear a piece of advice, it's like, oh, like I understand the piece of advice, and then I just won't do it unless somebody gives me like an actionable, like step by step, like almost like a routine, like a protocol that I can use. So I'm going to do that for you in this video because I know you're going to need the same thing. So the autistic way you can plan this out is have at least 3 social events per week. But if you really, really, really want to focus on your social life, have like four plus, right? And basically 4 nights of that week, you are going to stay up late. And every single day, you're still going to wake up at the same time, but you're going to wake up like later. Like let's say probably 3 hours. Like if you wake up at 5 a.m. now, try to wake up at like 8 a.m. now. I know like some of you guys are still gonna have like school or work or whatever, so you might not be able to do that. But sleep is still extremely important, right? Because if you get shit sleep, you're not gonna be able to like focus on your goals. You're not gonna be able to work as well. You're not gonna be able to push yourself as hard in the gym. And essentially what I want you to do is I want you to spend at least still 1 hour per day at absolute minimum, if not like 2 or 3 hours working towards your goals. And then in the time where you're not doing that, just do the highest ROI stuff, right? So in those in that 1 to 3 hours, what I want you to do is the highest ROI stuff, right? ROI stands for return on investment. And essentially what that means is like how much you get out of how much you put in, right? So for example, my return on investment, let's say I invested $10 into something and then I got $100 out of that. That's a very, very high ROI because I 10x'd my money. That's like a 10 times ROI. But then if I invested $10 into something and I got $1 out of it, then that's a very, very bad ROI because I lost $9. I only got 10% of what I put in. You need to figure out the highest ROI tasks that you need to do for your goals. So let's say that's like let's say your big year-long goals are um let's say like building your dream physique, right? Let's say you want to put on like 20 pounds of lean mass as your big year-long goal. As your time working on your goal in the background, just hit like one extremely hard big workout per day. And then the rest of the day, don't worry about any of the other like optimizing stuff. Don't worry about like the muscle protein synthesis, like you eat like protein every single hour. Don't worry about that. Instead, just focus on the highest ROI thing, the highest like return on investment. There's this book that talks about this, and I've actually got it in my book stack here. It's called The 4 Hour Work Week, right? It's this one over here. I don't know if you can actually see that on camera. But essentially, a part of that book talks about like elimination, right? They're like four parts to the book. There's like definition, elimination, automation, liberation, right? Those are the four parts of the book, and basically it talks about like actually, I don't really need to explain this to you, but basically, it's like why you should start like a business, how to like eliminate all the unnecessary tasks, how to automate the necessary tasks, and basically just get somebody else to do it for you, and then liberation, just like do whatever the hell you want. So essentially, in the entirety of like the elimination chapter of that book, that half of it is literally just talking about like something called the 80/20 rule, right? The 80/20 rule is 20% of the work you put in gives you 80% of the result, and then the other 80% of the work gives you only 20% of the result. You need to figure out what the optimal 80/20 split is for you. So even during this period where you're mainly focused on your social life, you need to figure out what 20% of work is going to give me 80% of the results I would usually get. If your goal is bodybuilding, that's going to the gym. If your goal is business, maybe it's like growing a YouTube channel or something like I've got, then it's just recording and uploading videos. If it's a different kind of business, let's say you're doing like drop shipping or something, then the main thing is like advertising and like making sure your website stays up running. Those are like the only two tasks you really have to do. So essentially, in summary, you can't just focus on the social season because then you're gonna neglect your other goals and you're gonna feel like shit. Not only is that bad for your actual long-term goals, but that's also gonna make you feel like shit, right? So you can't like fully neglect those goals. So you need to do the like bare minimum work that gets you the most amount of results in those goals and then spend the rest of your time socializing. You also want to like sleep in, right? Because sleep is very, very important. Set your body clock. I know you want to wake up at 5 a.m., but you just can't stay up till 12 at night and wake up at 5 a.m. every single day. You're going to feel like a piece of shit, right? So, and also remember, three to four social things per week, if not more, right? So that means like events, hanging out with friends. So either you go out with your friends and you stay up late, you have like a sleepover, whatever, you go to a party, you do whatever. And when it comes to like things like alcohol and all that, try to avoid it. I know it sounds like really, really annoying, but keep it like the government recommended. I know this sounds really, really gay, but the government recommended is like two beers per week. So try to like keep how much alcohol you have like lower, like just don't do any drugs, just alcohol. And if you do like drink alcohol, keep it like very, very low, because then like it's gonna throw off your goals so much, bro. Like it's honestly not that hard. Like if you're at a party, you can just say like, oh no, 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 I'm good, like, or like you can just like hold the drink in your hand, drink half of it, and then just hold it for the rest of the day and not drink it. Like people won't notice. Like you can legit just like drink out of it and then just like put it to your mouth but not even like drink anything, and people won't notice. Like you're gonna be fine. So even if you feel like really like socially awkward about that, you're fine, bro. Don't worry about it. Because like honestly, I never drink alcohol and I really don't plan on it because it's just shit for you, bro. Like it's really gonna fuck up your goals. It's gonna make you feel like shit. It's also like estrogenic as well. So then it's gonna like lower your testosterone, lower your ambition levels. So if you are at a party and like people are drinking, just like have a beer, drink like maybe like a tiny bit of it, drink half of it, or maybe pour a little bit of it down the sink and then just hold it, so then like people see it's kind of like half empty, and then it's kind of like it's basically like the same thing as like you, like people aren't gonna notice, like you're fine. So Yeah, that's just like that's a quick little like autistic tip if you need it. If this video was helpful for you, then first link in the description is completely free coaching. I know what you're thinking, oh, but Cameron, aren't you just gonna try and like get money out of me some way, or like how does this benefit you? Are you like just gonna try and scam me? The answer is no. The reason why I'm giving out free coaching right now is because right now I want to become a paid coach in the future, but right now I want to gain as much experience as I possibly can. So I don't really care what situation you're in, but I would love to hop on a call with you, get to know you, get to help you out with your life. I hope this video helped you guys out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.